It's Rob and Liz in the morning, his radio. Scott is like a fine coffee, I don't know what you call it.
Connoisseur.
Yeah, he's a connoisseur of coffee.
Kinda.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't like the frou-frou stuff.
Then
Good
you're not a connoisseur.
But a good, strong cup of coffee.
Come on.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what I like.
you got to have all
Gas
that
station
stuff.
coffee's the best that's been sitting around there for like 3 or 4 hours.
A little gritty.
Yeah,
you know?
come on now. It's got some beef to it, you know?
Yeah.
That's a
Now
good
we're
cup
talking.
of coffee. Come on now. So I'm thinking
Wow.
Scott
Good
and
grief.
Josh have something in common. One thing I am curious about is the first ever cup of coffee Scott had.
You know, and I was in my early 20s. I mean, I
What?
went through, I
Wow.
went through college and early 20s. I had a cup of coffee, and I'm like, my dad, by the way, drinks coffee day and night. And so now I understand why, because I do that a lot now. But early 20s, was my first cup.
Really? Because
Didn't really have
some are in their teen years when they have their first cup of coffee.
I think I was a teenager
Yeah.
when I had my first.
We let ours when they were like 15.
Yeah, I'm on the coffee team at church, and you'll have like 10-year-olds walking up. I'll take the bold. I'm like,
What?
does your mom say that's okay?
Well, at least they'll be awake during the sermon.
Right? Exactly.
So there's this guy by the name of Josh, and he had his first cup of coffee in America.
He did, and he's probably in his late 20s.
Yeah, just like, Scott. Scott didn't have his first, cup of coffee till his late 20s.
Yeah.
Josh, an American cup of coffee in his late 20s. And boy, did he react to it.
I've been in America now a lot of times, okay? I've been here now for 3 weeks, and something has happened. Something has happened that I never thought would happen, okay? I have now become addicted to something in America, and now I know why Americans love it. Are you ready? Coffee. Coffee! I'm now addicted to coffee, right? I'm British. This isn't what we do.
He shows us what his coffee is.
Oh, but it does taste good. I now can't function without my coffee.
It's frou-frou stuff.
It is.
I wake up in the morning. What's the first thing I think of? Not tea, not the Queen, coffee. America, what?
Coffee. He's into the coffee, but it's the frou-frou stuff. He's like holding a Dunkin' cup.
Yeah, a
And
big one.
it's iced coffee, so it's not hot coffee, and it looks like it could be one of those frappa thingos.
No, I think it's just iced coffee, unless it's really melted, but it's very, light. It's the way my mom drinks her coffee,
And
like the extra cream.
I'm going to guess it's really sugary.
I would think so.
What he
Now, he
has.
could have done sugar-free and fat-free, but Josh doesn't look like he probably needs that, so he probably has full sugar.
Yeah.
But my favorite part of it is, first thing I do in the morning, I'm not thinking of tea or the Queen. I'm thinking of coffee.
You say, how old were your kids when you first gave them coffee?
They were about 7 years old,
7 years old and having coffee.
and now they're 19.
Do they love it or do they hate the coffee now?
They don't care anything about it.
So why so young that you're giving them coffee at 7?
They were diagnosed with ADHD, and they wanted to put them on medication, and I didn't want to put them on medication. So instead, I gave them coffee as an alternative. And coffee for ADHD kids actually calms them down.
You know what? You're not the first person I heard that from. Well, thank you for being with us. We got some text that came in.
Yeah, so Holly said, I was 24 before I had my first cup of coffee. So another late one to the game, kind of like, Scott, for sure.
Wonder what, Scott's our news guy. He didn't have it until, how old were you? 20?
Early 20s.
Early
yeah.
20s.
Had a latte. That was my first one, a latte.
Well, that was a good way to break you in.
That wasn't even coffee, dude.
It wasn't. And then I got introduced to real coffee.
Yeah.
Ready. Ugh.
Y'all need to step back a little bit.
That's
You
what
gotta go
stuck
to
with.
gotta go to Pilot.
Latte.
It's not coffee unless it's 4 hours old and burnt at the bottom.
Okay.
A little thick.
Oh, y'all, stop
Yeah.
with this.
Chunks.
Latte's a way to go. Monette texted. She said, my grandma, listen to this. My grandma gave my brother coffee in a spoon when he was 3 days old
Oh,
to
why?
get him to stop crying.
Did it work?
He does not like coffee now.
Turns out that coffee seems to be the hot topic I didn't mean that as a pun.
Extra hot if you're me.
I'm sorry. A hot topic this morning. Here's an open mic that came in through the My HISRadio app.
My kids would always see me drinking coffee, and they always thought it smelled really good. And so around 4 years old, my oldest started drinking it, and now I have 4 kids, and they all drink coffee with me. And I love that because my husband never drank coffee, so now I have coffee buddies. But I always drank decaf coffee, always made decaf for us all. And they still love it. My oldest is now 12 and the youngest is 6, and we all enjoy a cup of coffee.
Cup of coffee.
yeah.
30 seconds was up. The message heard. Yeah, the kids, when they see mom and dad drinking it.
Oh, yeah,
it's like,
when it starts.
Give me some.
All right. Kayla texted and said, okay, my grandma made homemade coffee ice cream when I was a little girl, so I ate it all the time. And I started drinking coffee in high school, so I was about 18 years
That's
old.
about right.
Yeah, and still love that first cup of coffee in the morning. So Rob, a different Rob.
Not me.
Said he's almost 72.
And I'm not.
He said, no, you're not. Never had a real cup of coffee in his life.
For real?
Neither has his wife, but they love coffee ice cream.
I doubt the caffeine's in the coffee ice cream.
You know, that's a good point.
And I wonder if this, Rob, has anything with caffeine in it.
Maybe not. But you could get decaf and put a lot of cream in it, and then it's like coffee ice cream.
Yeah, but he hasn't had a cup of coffee at all.
Ever.
So that would mean decaf or caffeinated.
Yeah, that's true, but he could do it. He could start now.
It-
It's never-
maybe
never
he
too-
doesn't want to.
Come on,
sounds
Rob.
that sounds like a badge of honor. I'm 72. Me and my wife have never had coffee in our life. That's a badge of honor.
Come on, Rob, do it.
That's something to celebrate. She's
Have a
talking about
cup.
another Rob.
Yeah.
So here's one more open mic that came in.
My daughter, when she was about 4 years old, went behind my back while I was at the doctor's office, and as I'm telling her what a great appetite my daughter has and eats so well, I turn around, she's grabbed my cup of Dunkin' Donuts, and she's sipping away merrily at it, and I'm like, I promise you, she doesn't drink this. So the doctor and I had a good laugh over it. That was her first cup of coffee.